Once upon a time, a prince named Kwabena lived in the village of Jukwa. He was tall, handsome, and rich, which made people jealous. Many women in the village were attracted to him, but Kwabena was a snob. He was proud and liked to show off. He thought he was better than others and acted carelessly with people's feelings, hurting many women who liked him. Every young lady in the village dreamt of being the one to capture the prince's heart, but to Kwabena it was all a game. He enjoyed getting their attention without really caring about them. He would say sweet words and do big, impressive things to make the girls like him, but he quickly lost interest once they did and went to the next girl. This happened over and over again. As a result, Kwabena became known for this behavior. More and more people in the village started talking about how he broke many girls' hearts. They knew about his habit of making a girl feel special and then suddenly leaving her for someone else. In the same village lived Esi, a gem of a different sort. Esi grew up with her grandmother, who taught her many important things. Everyone in the village knew Esi for being kind and intelligent. She was very beautiful too, like the sun rising over Ghana's vast open fields, and her mind was as sharp as a warrior's spear. She was very clever. Esi was different from the other girls in the village. She didn't care about Prince Kwabena's show-off behavior. While other girls were trying to get the prince's attention, Esi was busy with other things. She spent her time studying and learning new things. She also helped her grandmother with work around the house every day. Esi was focused on her own life and didn't let the prince's actions distract her. Prince Kwabena, intrigued by Esi's indifference, saw her as a new challenge. She didn't seem interested in him at all, and this made her very interesting to him. To Kwabena, Esi became like a new game or challenge. He thought, how can I make Esi like me? So he tried many ways to impress her. He gave her expensive and fancy gifts, hoping she would be amazed. Like a poet, he wrote her beautiful letters filled with lovely words. He even sang to her under the night sky when the moon was bright and the stars twinkled. He did all these big and romantic things to win her heart. But Esi remained unswayed. She didn't care about the prince's gifts, words, or songs. Esi could see that Kwabena was not being honest. She understood he was putting on a show, not showing his true self. Esi felt sorry for him. She thought it was sad that Prince Kwabena acted this way to get attention without caring about people. As Prince Kwabena kept trying to get Esi's attention, he changed his approach. He was increasingly determined, almost desperate, to make her like him. So he started talking to Esi, thinking he might discover something she really cared about that he could use to win her over. He hoped to find a weakness or something she couldn't resist. But something unexpected happened during these talks. As Kwabena listened to Esi, he became really interested in what she was saying. Esi talked about many things. She shared stories about their village's past, which were full of interesting and important lessons. She spoke about how essential it is to treat others with respect and kindness. Esi also talked about what it means to be a good leader, that it's not just about being powerful or important, but about caring for others and doing what's right. These conversations with Esi were a surprise for Kwabena. He started to feel something new inside him. He was no longer just trying to impress Esi. He was learning from her. Esi's words and ideas made him think differently about himself and his role as a prince. He began to see much more to being a leader than he had thought. One day, Prince Kwabena reached a point where he felt frustrated and maybe a bit desperate too. He realized that all his efforts to impress Esi weren't working, so he decided to do something different. He went to Esi and honestly told her about his initial plan. He admitted that he first saw her as just a challenge, a way to prove he could win anyone's heart. He thought Esi would react angrily or look down on him for this. But Esi's reaction was different from what Kwabena expected. She didn't get mad or mistreat at him. Instead, she looked at him with a mix of sadness and hope in her eyes. It was as if she felt sorry for him, but also saw a chance for him to become better. Esi then shared something very important with Kwabena. She told him that being truly strong doesn't come from winning people over or showing off. Real strength is about having good character and treating others with respect. She explained that it's not about how many people you can impress or control, but how you act and care for others. This moment was a big deal for Kwabena. It made him think deeply about who he was and how he acted. Esi's words showed him a different way to look at strength and success. It was about something other than being the most popular or having the most attention. Instead, it was about being kind, respectful, and caring about others more than himself. This conversation was a turning point for Kwabena, starting his journey of becoming a better person. After his conversation with Esi, Prince Kwabena began to change. He started to think deeply about how he had been acting all this time. He thought about his actions and how they affected the people in his village, especially the women he had treated carelessly. For the first time, he saw how his actions might have hurt others. Kwabena decided to do something he had never done before. He went to the women he had wronged, all those he had made feel special, and left without caring about their feelings. He apologized to each of them. He said he was sorry for not thinking about their feelings and for being careless with their hearts. This was a big step for him. It showed he was trying to be better and more like the kind and respectful person Esi had talked about. But the reactions he got were different from each woman. Some of them listened to his apologies and forgave him. They saw that he was trying to change and appreciated his honesty. But for others, it wasn't so easy. They had been hurt by what Kwabena had done and couldn't just forget about it. They couldn't forgive him, not yet or maybe not ever. This showed Kwabena that saying sorry is important, but it sometimes takes time to fix everything. It was a lesson that some things take time to heal, and some actions have long-lasting effects. Along with apologizing to the women he had hurt, Prince Kwabena started to take a new interest in the life of his village. He realized that being a prince wasn't just about enjoying privileges. It came with serious responsibilities too. He began to help the wise village elders who knew a lot about running the village. Working with them taught Kwabena how to care for his people and make good decisions for everyone. He started to understand what it really means to be a leader. This change in Kwabena took time. It took time. But as he kept helping and learning, the people in the village started to see him in a new light. They began to respect him, not just because he was born a prince, but because he was showing himself as a person of good character. He was no longer just the wealthy, handsome prince who cared only about himself. He was becoming someone who cared about his village and its people. As he watched all of this happen, she had always been cautious about Kwabena, not letting herself be charmed by him like the other girls. But as she saw him change, her feelings began to change too. She had been cautious with her heart, protecting it and not letting anyone in. But as she saw the once arrogant and selfish prince become a caring and responsible leader, her heart started warming up to him. She noticed that he was trying to improve and that his efforts were sincere. In an unexpected turn of events, something special happened during a village celebration. The whole village was buzzing with excitement and happiness. Lively drum beats were filling the air, people were dancing everywhere, and there was a sense of joy all around. It was a perfect scene of community and festivity, typical of the vibrant culture in their Ghanaian village. Amidst this lively celebration, Esi did something surprising. She walked up to Kwabena, which was unusual because until now she had always kept her distance from him. But this time she confidently approached him, reached for his hand, and gently led him to the center of the celebration. This action was significant. It showed that Esi was ready to acknowledge publicly the changes she had seen in Kwabena. Under the beautiful night sky, with countless stars shining above and the sounds of celebration around them, Esi spoke to Kwabena. In a moment filled with sincerity and emotion, she told him she was proud of him. She recognized his efforts to change and become a better person. She acknowledged his transformation from the arrogant prince he once was to the responsible and caring leader he had become. This moment was decisive for both of them. For Kwabena, hearing these words from Esi, the girl who had always resisted his charms and seen through his facade, meant a lot. It was a validation of his hard work and the genuine change in his character. For Esi, it was a moment of opening up, of showing that her feelings towards Kwabena had shifted. She saw the good in him and was brave enough to express her admiration. Prince Kwabena had let go of his arrogance, the pride that once made him think he was better than everyone else. Instead, he had learned to be humble, to understand and accept his flaws, and to value others more than himself. This transformation in Kwabena was what Esi had been waiting for. She had always seen the potential for goodness in him, but it was vital that he genuinely change, not just pretend to be different. When Kwabena showed that he had truly embraced humility, that was the moment Esi felt ready to take their relationship beyond just friendship. She was now open to being closer to, or maybe even loving him, because she saw that he had become a genuinely better person. The village, witnessing this transformation and the blossoming relationship between Kwabena and Esi, was filled with happiness. People were happy not just because their prince had found love, but because he had grown into a man they could all be proud of. They had seen his journey from being self-centered to becoming someone who cared deeply about others and his responsibilities. This was a cause for celebration, showing a promising future for the village under his leadership. Dear listeners, Kwabena and Esi's journey was more than a fairy tale ending of happily ever after. Their lives were intertwined with deep meaning and a shared purpose. Beyond their personal bliss, they devoted themselves to the progress and welfare of their community. By embracing humility and wisdom, Kwabena transformed into a genuinely cherished and esteemed leader by his people. With her unwavering knowledge and strength, Esi continued to be a pillar for Kwabena and an inspiration for the entire village. Their narrative evolved into a profound legacy, imparting wisdom across generations. This story underscores the belief that everyone is capable of change. It demonstrates that even a heart as hardened as Kwabena's once was can learn to embrace warmth and compassion. Their story teaches us about the strength in vulnerability, the courage in admitting one's flaws, and the beauty in growing together. It emphasizes that authentic leadership is about serving others, not just wielding power. And it reminds us that every personal journey can become a beacon of hope and inspiration for others, no matter how challenging. In the end, Kwabena and Esi's life story is a testament to the idea that living with purpose and for the greater good is the true essence of a fulfilled life.